you agree with the states that are going forward?
Yes, we respect what they're doing.
While Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Ohio, a state that was supposed to vote today, have delayed their primaries, Arizona, Florida, and Illinois are going ahead. And DNC Chair Tom Perez appears to think that nothing's wrong with this. So I'm going to play this video. This is Tom Perez's appearance on MSNBC with Chris Hayes. Watch how Tom Perez responds to this question.
It is your view that this can be safely conducted tomorrow. Who have you been consulting to come to that view?
Well, again, we didn't intervene in that case.
No, I know. This is a state matter, but I'm asking your position as Tom Perez, the head of DNC.
Sure.
My understanding is you're saying you agree with the states that are going forward.
Yes, we respect what they're doing, and we always encourage everyone. And I was in contact today with people in a number of these states, including but not limited to Arizona, and again asking them if do they believe they have the systems in place that enable them to put the elections on tomorrow, and they do. And Republican and Democratic governors have made that judgment that they can do that. I don't think it's for me to second guess those judgments, Chris, and so. I respect that. And again, the point I'm making is there's a broader issue here. And that broader issue is we ought to make it easier for people to vote.
All right. This is not the time for standard politics saying that, oh, I respect their decision. You are the DNC chair. Even if you respect their decision, you should be telling people not to go out and vote, that it is unsafe for people to go out and vote. Notice how he couldn't say who he consulted with this decision because he didn't consult anybody. It is his job as the DNC chair to be a leader, and he's not being a leader here. As everybody should know by now, the CDC recommends to cancel large gatherings of 50 plus people. There's going to be a lot more people in these lineups at these precincts in these voting states. And he's acting like, oh, these states, they're ready. I mean, they told me they're ready. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Here's one example of what's happening. This is from Rebecca Pearl. Election day so far. 5 out of the 8 election staff are elderly. We were provided with no cleaning supplies. We are missing an entire blue box, meaning anyone who comes to this precinct cannot vote. We are missing 2 election judges, and nobody's answering our calls. And this is just to be clear. So not clear which state this is, but clearly one of the voting states right now. And then she follows up with this. Just received cleaning supplies for 11 hours worth of voters. 1 package of Clorox wipes and 1 container here of hand sanitizer. Yeah, the states are definitely prepared for this. This virus spreads incredibly easily. It spreads through the air. Someone in front of you breathing, they may have it. They may not even have symptoms. A lot of people that have the virus don't even have symptoms of it. Yet they are spreading it to other people who are more vulnerable, who have lower immunity. This is how people die. And Tom Perez is sitting there like, oh, really? This is really about voter suppression. Are you out of your mind? Do you know the world that we are in right now? And you are encouraging people to go out and vote by telling them that everything's going to be fine. Luckily, in some cases, precincts are closed regardless. So this is in Illinois. At one of the precincts, election judges did not show up. Please contact the county which you live in or the voting website for updates. This is an unprecedented situation. So it appears some of the precincts have to take this into their own hands and stop the potential of people lining up in big numbers to vote to save their lives because there's no leadership at the DNC. More reactions here. Cynthia Nixon says, I don't understand why anyone besides a health expert in pandemics is deciding whether states should be voting in person tomorrow. Who cares what Tom Perez thinks? What does Anthony Fauci think? or Anthony Fauci. So he's the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease director. Jordan Sheridan here tweets out, primaries being held today are already a disaster. Tom Perez and the DNC will go down in history as sanctioning the endangerment of lives. Let me quickly watch this as well.
Election judge tomorrow. I'm supposed to be an election judge tomorrow in the city of Chicago, and I've received absolutely zero communication about any sort of precautions that they're taking for COVID-19. Not a single word, not an email, not a letter, not a call. My friend had her training after the labeling of it as a pandemic on Wednesday. She had her training on Friday. The person who was training her had to bring their own hand sanitizer, and they had hand sanitizer before and after touching the machines. But my friend asked, will there be hand sanitizer and will this be standard procedure on the day of elections? And she said no. They were not taught, and I was not taught, to wipe down machines before and after use. We were not told whether we will be given hand sanitizer, whether we will be given wipes, nothing. I just called the Board of Elections, talked to someone. She said, there will be hand sanitizer, there will be wipes, there will be no gloves, there will be no masks. And I said, why wasn't anyone notified about even the hand sanitizer or the wipes? Are we teaching anyone? Are we telling anyone that they have to do this? She said they, quote unquote, didn't have time to send out a mass communication. They did not have time to email. And they said they're trying to call some people now to let them know. But people aren't being taught to do anything differently. Election judges are dropping out left and right, not just elderly. Friends of mine who are in their 20s are dropping out. I just called the governor's office. Well, first, the governor's Chicago office is nothing but a busy signal. I had to call Springfield, talk to someone there. I literally spoke, they listened to me, and then they said, thank you for your concerns. I'll be sure to pass it on. Goodbye. This is an absolute mess. I'm not one who's usually scared. I've been fine, but I'm scared to work as an election judge where there has been no precautions being let known, because even if they have hand sanitizer and wipes, that doesn't help if they don't teach people what they need to do and when. Plus,
So this is from Jordan Barney, and she's in Chicago. Just clearly, they're not prepared. DNC Chair Tom Perez telling you, oh, the states have assured me they're ready. Did you actually bother to do any checkups? Did you look into it? Or just taking their word for it? Unbelievable. What a disgusting leader Tom Perez has been. More reaction here. Katie Halper. If Trump pushed back against public health officials and governors who wanted to delay their primaries because of a pandemic, he'd rightly be called an unprecedented threat to public health and democracy. But a guy doing that from the other party gets to be DNC chair and go on MSNBC. One more. Josh Fox. So let me get this straight. San Francisco under 24-hour lockdown. New Orleans says no gatherings larger than 10 people. CDC says no gatherings larger than 50 people. New York City shut down. And yet DNC is going to have a primary where thousands of people will be in line. Hashtag postpone the primaries. I'm a Bernie supporter. But I'm telling you right now, whoever you support, Bernie, Biden, whoever, stay home. It is not safe to vote. Even if you are young and healthy, you may still have it. Or you may get it from somebody else and contract it and give it to someone else who's elderly or who is going to be affected by it. It is not safe for anybody to go out and vote. It is incredible to me what a failure the Democratic Party is.